Alright, let's see here. Now we should be live. There we go. Okay, there's the live. Finally. Man, sometimes this is more difficult than it should be. Let's go over here. Let's go live. Of course, we do this twice. Done. Alright. Sweet. There we go. Okay. Now we can start this thing. Is it in frame here? Yes. First step, we gotta tear some stuff down. Actually, first step, I'll mount the new computers. I'm gonna mount the boards on here. Oh, but you can't see that if I put that there. Let's get it. Oh no, don't lose the screws. Put this out of the way. Okay. Alright, let's see. That's a broken screw. That's trash. But all the computers work now. Why'd you stop? Oh, you're still going. Okay. How's it going? Trying to fix a computer here. Well, a bunch of computers. Now, I got new plexiglass that my computers are mounting to. Now, I need to get my standoff screws on here. They're a little tight, and I'm going to need some super glue to fix it. But we should be able to get this in place. Ah, shoot. Alright, there we go. More standoff screws is what we need. Because a bunch of these broke when I shipped it. So, it's hard to see. Isn't there a way to see better comments on TikTok? Hello everyone, someone give me a comment, please. Comment? There we go. No, I can comment. That's not what I want. I don't have a goal. There's no goal of going live for me. It's just to share. Okay, well, we'll do with what we got. And I think I'm on YouTube too, but I don't know. Anyone leave me a comment? Alright, whatever. So, got all my standoff screws here. Need to mount these. All of the Ethernet ports face the edge of the outside board, because when I put it in the case, I need the Ethernet on the side here. And I got different size standoffs, and I gotta remember which ones go where. But first, let's just thread them in and see, because this isn't exact science. Thanks for coming, though. Alright, I don't know if you can hear my heater. It is whining in the background because it is cold out in my garage. I mean, it's California cold. It's not like I'm gonna die. It's just, wow, that's a really far standoff. That's not gonna work. That's too much space. Okay, that's not what I want. So, this means I'll probably have to buy more of these, because if all I have is the really tall ones, or these really short ones, I got, what size is this? Inches? Who measures in inches? 15? Yeah, these are 15 millimeter. So that's what I want. What am I doing? I am fixing this which is my computer home lab, with these boards. These are I have 4 of them. They all mount inside. First thing I need to do is actually mount them to this piece of plexiglass, and this piece of plexiglass goes inside with the computer on. It broke. I had it shipped to me, and yeah, so now we gotta fix it. The plexiglass broke when I shipped it. Not a great idea, but we wanted to see how strong it was anyway, so that's what we're doing. If you want to stick around, feel free. And first, I just got to try to get the right size standoff. That's probably okay. That's a 15 millimeter, mounts up there. I do want these slightly angled. This goes in the computer like this, but it's actually upside down, and I want it angled just slightly toward the top, like that. So I want the top ones to be actually shorter, so I probably need to switch this. The taller ones go on the bottom. Next Step Ice, is that shout out to Steve Jobs' company? Next Step, wasn't that his? Next was his company. Next Step was the operating system, if I remember correctly. I don't know if that's at all even why you have that name, but that's my guess. Does it go? What happens if I swipe? No. Oh, there's the comments. That's much better. Okay, cool. TikTok Live, I still don't do it very often, so yeah. All right. So, oh boy, that's gonna need some super glue, because some of these threads are a little bit small, and they just push right in. I have some nuts to put on the back, but I think I'm gonna glue it too. The old screws standoffs pretty much all broke when it got shipped. So, yeah. Thanks for coming. What's everyone getting for Christmas? What everyone buy themselves for Christmas? That's a good question. All right. Does this fit? Oh, it's the wrong size. Shoot. I might be able to get 2 of these together, and I probably got to buy more standoff screws, because all of mine broke, and now we got to figure it out. Is this the right size? Nope, that's tall. This is the right size. Okay. Alright, these must be this size. That's still taller? You're that size again. That's in the wrong spot. That's why. There you go. I love the TikTok algorithm, because it makes you, like, when you go live, it throws you at a bunch of people, and everyone's on TikTok. So you jump from 0 to 200 live views, and if I'm not in a bikini or doing something that is visually provocative, I guess is the right word, you just drop. And so I thank you, the 5 of you that are here, because apparently you like circuit boards and computers, which isn't, granted, the standard TikTok audience. Okay, so now this has a slight angle to it. The bottom standoffs are a little longer than the top. Oh, we're gonna be close. I'm not gonna be able to get. I don't have enough standoffs to do both plexiglass boards, because I have 2 of them. I got 4 boards. I I gotta mount all of them. But I can at least get one side of boards in place. And the boards that go, there's a LED panel. I'll show it to you just a second. Let me get this one in. There's an LED panel in the computer which has less clearance, and so the side that has less clearance needs shorter standoffs anyway. Come on. These holes are tight. I tried threading them last week, and it made the holes way too big. So here's the case. This side has plenty of space. There's wide open over here. This is where you basically can see the computers themselves. On this side, I have a LED light panel right here, and so the board fits in here, which doesn't have a lot of space. So I have to use shorter standoffs so the boards will fit, because otherwise they rub up against the back of that light panel. Okay. Let's get... I do want to super glue these. I'm going to go get super glue. I'm going to be right back. Yeah, because I want to just put a drop of super glue on them since they broke last time. And with the nuts on the back, none of them came out. Yeah, we're fine. I'm not going to glue it. What's the cluster for? If you go to... where can I comment? Cube. Dev. There you go. Kubernetes.dev. That is the entire part list and basics on the hardware for the cluster. I built it for work. I work at Amazon. I work on the Kubernetes team at Amazon. And I was working with EKS Anywhere, which is our version of Kubernetes, and we were launching bare metal support. So we were originally supporting people running EKS on-prem with things like VMware, and then we were launching bare metal. So I found my own bare metal cluster because I was working on it. I needed a lab to test it, and computers are too boring is a theory of mine, and hardware, it looks really cool, and people should make more interesting looking hardware. And so I decided I would make some interesting looking hardware. And so I took an old Apple Cube, and the name fit perfectly because it's Kubernetes. And I just said, hey, we're going to make this work, and we're going to make a box that looks like a cube and also runs an operating system that's pronounced like a cube. Hello, YouTube, too. I don't get very many comments on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. If anyone wants to switch over there. But I figured TikTok would give me a lot more questions and interaction, so thanks for coming. A lot more meaning the 4 people that are here. And YouTube, oh look, I got 1 person. How's it going, 1 person? Thanks for coming. YouTube also has a much worse delay. So, yeah. Kubernetes, a hit. Yeah, I know, spell it with a C. Although I didn't anticipate spelling it with a C. Every Google search tries to correct the person searching, so I thought, oh, I'm going to have a cool name, and people will find it, and then I realized that, no, Google hides it every time, which is why I bought the domain, Kubernetes. pfSense, alright, pfSense is fun. Man, I used to play with pfSense. I was always a little scared of it, though. When you play with pfSense, you can take down your internet for longer than you want, and I can't tell you how many times I have troubleshooted things without internet, because I took down the internet, or I had Linux and there was no Wi-Fi drivers or whatever. And so doing things without internet, especially before smartphones, this was like back in the day, I did not have a smartphone. There was no such thing as smartphones. I didn't have an extra web browser. And so I would steal my wife's computer, and hop on my neighbor's Wi-Fi. I would do all sorts of stuff just to be like, I just need to find the command to fix this thing on my computer. But yeah, pfSense is absolutely, there's so much cool stuff you can do. Excuse me. Man, I'm gonna die over here. This cough will not go away. I'll tighten these down this time. But good luck with pfSense. It's fun. I'd be interested. Like, are you running it on custom hardware, or do you have just like a computer, or are you doing it like, I don't know if it supports a Raspberry Pi. I'm sure it does now. I built custom hardware for a router a while ago, and I never finished it. It's actually right behind me. Keep an eye on the kids. Yeah, old PC. So, Linksys switch, right? This is classic Linksys WRT54G. Sorry. Mine has a big old heatsink on it because it's actually a 32 or x86 computer shoved inside the case. So this was my an old Linksys, and I was like, this case is so iconic. I wonder if I can make it a custom router. And so I was like, oh, pfSense would be perfect, and I just never finished it. So yeah, Pi holes are great. I have moved over to NextDNS. I'm all about old case modding, right? Like, got this. My whole Kubernetes box is an old Apple case. I got some old Apple IIs, or an Apple II around the corner. I have a Commodore 64. I'm trying to figure out what to do with. I love recycling old hardware and making it, something new again. So yeah. If you're trying to keep an eye on kids, I've actually been pretty impressed, and I do work at Amazon, but I bought this separate. Arrow Wi-Fi has had really good controls. Their ad blocking isn't amazing, not as good as Pi-holes, but I moved over to NextDNS only because NextDNS worked seamlessly on my phone, and so I could get ad blocking when I'm not home, which was great. But Pi-hole has some awesome features when you're on the network with a Pi-hole. The layer 2 access to the network, just to say, like, I know all of these devices, I can filter them and you can choose which do what, is better than anything else, better than NextDNS, because NextDNS is you have to install an agent, and it sucks that way. But with Pi-hole, it looks at the MAC address, all of my IoT stuff, all that stuff just gets filtered. So that's a really great tool. It was just something that I was like, I want something that gives me something outside of the house too. Pi-hole also was pretty aggressive when I was using it. I'm sure it still is, but I had a lot of allow listed things. Okay. First standoffs are in place. Are these even the screws for this? Where is... Oh, there's the Allen wrench. Okay. These are way too long. Right? Worry about IoT. Oh yeah, that screw's way too long. I have had IoT devices for a long time, and I always put them on guest networks. Like, you get your router that has a guest Wi-Fi. But then it got super annoying to, like, turn them on. And it's just like, oh, like, now I can't access them directly on the LAN because they're not on my LAN anymore. And I just, a couple weeks ago, finally set up Homebridge, which gives you, it Matter's the new standard for IoT, and it does all this cool stuff, but it's basically Apple HomeKit. HomeKit is what Matter's based on, and Homebridge gives you HomeKit on other non-HomeKit devices. And so I installed Homebridge, and the speed at which it turns things on and off, I had forgotten what it was like to instantly turn on and off lights and things of that nature. So I've been very happy with Homebridge now that I got it set up. Okay. We should get this on. And I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put these computers on, and I'm just going to take apart the rest of the cube itself. And I have to order more standoffs because I do not think I have enough. Although, I think I might be able to combine them to make a longer one. Because I need longer standoffs, and they all broke. Been slowly transitioning from SmartThings to HomeKit and HomeBridge. It's fantastic. Yeah, I was trying to get Matter devices. I actually just bought a bunch of switches, Christmas lights and things like that. I used them all, and so I was like, oh, I want to get some Matter stuff, and there wasn't anything available 4 weeks ago. But yeah, HomeBridge, Home Assistant I tried using for a long time, and Home Assistant had way too many bells and whistles that I needed. That I was just like, you know what? I just want something a little bit more simple here, and so a helium miner. No, I don't mine anymore. I used to do it, man, way back in the day, Bitcoin. But let me tell you, for anyone out there that wants to do mining, I bought Bitcoin. I had about $200 worth of Bitcoin back in 2012. I remember I bought some for my birthday. Like, I used my birthday money, and I was like, I'm going to get some Bitcoin. This is going to be the future. It's cool. I was trying to mine it. I never did. I never mined anything successfully. I joined mining pools, all that stuff, way back 10 years ago. I sold all of my Bitcoin. I had 0.3 Bitcoin, I think. I think I was like, the max I had was like $200 worth, $250 maybe. I sold it all, and I bought my first home lab Kubernetes cluster. I'm a nerd, I know. I bought a home lab Kubernetes cluster with my Bitcoin money, and that has turned out to have better returns on my investment, getting me a job and giving me new skills and letting me travel the world than anything that Bitcoin would have done for me. So, just FYI, I always recommend you invest in yourself and your own learning over any sort of financial markets, because investing in yourself has better returns than anything else. That's my advice today. HomeBridge works as its own network that manages IoT stuff. HomeBridge runs on your network and connects to IoT devices, and it has a bunch of plugins for like different types of devices. And so I used to work at Disney, but HomeBridge, you can take all your IoT stuff that exists and then use the plugins to connect to different things on the network and control them a lot faster. So it integrates with iOS stuff. If you have iOS, great. All the new stuff is going to be Matter based, which I don't know if Home Assistant stuff or HomeBridge stuff is going to work too, or work the same way. But I know Android just announced they integrated it. Apple obviously did. So yeah. Yes, I used to work at Disney. I worked at Disney for 6 years. I worked in Disney Animation for 4.5 years. Go check out my IMDb profile. And I worked at Disney Streaming, which was the division that built Disney Plus. And so we ran a bunch of other services too. Disney Streaming was a startup called BAMTech Media that Disney purchased. They bought the company. They bought 90% of this company and then said, hey, we own everything. We're going to build Disney Plus with this company. But that company also built ESPN Plus, which is a service that I ran, which launched about 1.5 years before Disney Plus. But we also ran a bunch of other services that you never knew. The HBO, the HBO Go, the old app, the first one that they had, which was good, was ran by BAMTech. Twitter had a live streaming service, not Periscope. They had a TV live streaming service, which was run by Disney, which was run by BAMTech. But then a bunch of sports networks, WWE, Ultimate, UFC, PGA, a bunch of random sports stuff. When I started, those were all in place, and I was in charge of them. Yes, I'm a software engineer. Were you at the startup before acquisition? Sorry. I accepted the role when it was BAMTech Media, and then I went on paternity leave. basically. I had my second child, and I was on paternity leave for about a month. And by the time I came back to Disney Animation, I quit and I started at BAMTech. The week before, they had just transitioned the emails from BAMTech Media to DisneyStreaming.com. So I was never technically, I never had a BAMTech Media account, but I was still in the old HR system for BAMTech Media, so I had different benefits than what people that started after the acquisition had. So I was kind of there for BAMTech Media. I remember a lot of stuff that was BAMTech Media. Okay, we got one thing mounted. Shoot, I forgot to mount solder on my new lights. I should do that first. I have the light somewhere. I have there's LEDs that just show that the computer's on. When it was shipped, this one broke. So I need to fix that one too. Oh, and sorry, YouTube. I know I'm not giving you any love. Here's the board. I have YouTube camera up here that I'm streaming, but the delay on it is so bad. I can't even talk to people with it. Where is it? Dang. There it goes. Do I write JavaScript? I can write JavaScript. I have written JavaScript. I do not prefer to write JavaScript, but I've done JavaScript writing. So DevOps, yeah, I guess that's more where I did a lot of infrastructure. I did. People call DevOps all sorts of things. So what is DevOps to you? Like DevOps, a lot of people is like, oh, you manage Jenkins servers. You're a DevOps. I was never in charge of Jenkins servers, thankfully. I had created some, but I never ran any in production. So, but yeah, I more fit along the lines of like DevOps engineer, platform engineer, SRE. My official role at Disney Streaming was SRE. My role at Disney Animation was systems engineer. So whatever you want to call them. What is it like building, maintaining CDN networks for a streaming service? I was not on that team, but I was fascinated by the team that built the CDN management services, and they basically just used every CDN out there. They mapped all. Here's every CDN. We have partnerships with all of these CDNs. Our contracts for some of them say we had to use their CDN for some percentage of our traffic. So they had a management layer on top of like 30 different streaming or CDN services, and then they would just say like, okay, this content goes there, that content goes there. If you go on my YouTube channel, I have a talk called Infrastructure for Entertainment. It was a talk I gave in 2020 at a conference when conferences were all pre-recorded, and I literally walk through every like high-level overview of what it's like to create a movie for animation, an animated movie that you want to, how to render it, how to like show the pixels, all that sort of stuff. And then how to stream that movie to people, because that was my career at Disney. Was we created the movies. I created the movies for 4.5 years, and then we streamed the movies, and I was there for 1.5 years. So yeah, you can go watch that movie, Infrastructure for Entertainment, and that I animated it. It was more of a movie than anything else. But yeah, it was. I wanted to get that out of my head. That was right after I left Disney. How do you stream services with VPN legally? Well, I mean, that's breaking the terms of service if you present yourself as somewhere else. So, like, they're all private companies, and the private companies aren't going to come after you from the law. Like, the law doesn't care. The law doesn't care where you are. But terms of services is what you're breaking, and that's, just the company cares. How do I do which part? This? The hardware? Are you talking about? Or man, I'm sorry. I'm getting over this cough. How do I do this and get paid for it? I'm assuming you mean the Disney stuff, but maybe not. Okay. Let's take this apart. Okay. I lost a screw! Oh, shoot. I hope I have extras of those. That's not good. I kind of need those. Let's see. Netflix boots you when you use This is a cube cluster. I had an old chat. Kubernetes, spelled with a C, .dev, will bring you to the whole build of the cluster. But yes, it runs Kubernetes. It's just 4 computers. It could run whatever we want. But it was built for EKS Anywhere, which is Amazon, my company I work for, our Kubernetes, on-prem Kubernetes offering. I wonder if Netflix works over... I wonder why it boots you. It's probably... I'm assuming when you say you get booted using a VPN, that's because you're using like a well-known VPN service with well-known endpoints. I use Tailscale, which is like a private VPN. Yeah, WireGuard. There you go. It's using my own network for my own access of things, and I've used that successfully. I don't know that I ever used it with Netflix overseas, but I did use it when I was overseas to exit from my house. So I routed all my traffic back through my house. And to the question, how do you get paid doing hardware stuff? That is a really good question. I mean, there's plenty of companies that have data centers and will pay you to do data centers maintenance. It's interesting at first, and it's really fascinating to see how things work together. I worked in a couple different data centers. Doing custom hardware, I have no idea how you get. I fell into this job. I have no idea. I started working on Amazon, a cloud company, and then started building custom hardware. So don't ask me how this works. I just so happened to be working on the team that was building on-prem solutions for stuff. Hey, how's it going? Just Google one and just show up. Google a job. Again, custom hardware is so specific to companies that you often have to like you're gonna have to CAD stuff. You're gonna have to learn a ton of stuff. Ooh, that got scratched. My diffuser for my light panel. Once I get this off, let me turn it around. This. Oh shoot! Oh no, yeah, that comes off. Okay. This is I have a Pico Pi here, which controls a light panel. I don't remember which light panel it controls. Oh, I know. There's 4 lights on the back of the case, on the outside case of the Mac. The Pico Pi controls that. This has pogo pins right here. One sends power and data from the Pico Pi to that light panel that's on the case, and the other one just sends power to, there's a front logo that lights up. And there's an embedded controller in the logo itself, and all I needed was power because all the software is handled out there. So this has one controller here that controls lights, but this is how I get power to the outside of the case, because this entire piece unplugs from the rest of the outside case. So I wanted to be able to get power easily. This was a pain to 3D print and get it just right to line up with the buttons inside. What's the spec on my home lab? Go to kubernetes.dev. Kubernetes spelled with a C, .dev. It's in the chats. That has all the specs. It's 4 of these boards. These are called LP179s. These are the heart of the cluster, which is terabyte of storage, 32 gigs of RAM, Core i7 processor, and there's 4 of them. So it's 4 terabytes of storage, 32 cores, or 32 threads, and 128 gigs of RAM is generally what the cluster has available. But like I said, there's a Pico Pi, there's another board in here to control this light panel. So there's a lot of smaller embedded stuff. There's also a switch here in the middle. But the main compute comes from that. I am not on the Outpost team. I still have never seen an Outpost. The Outpost team, I believe, is part of the EC2 team, maybe underneath the general compute at Amazon, but I don't know. 3D printer suggestions. Oh man, I have a 3D printer. I have a Ender 3 Pro. It's around the corner over there. That's how I printed a bunch of parts for this. And man, am I having some problems with it. I cannot get prints to stick to the build plates, and I do not know why. So at this point, I don't suggest it, but I'm sure it's something I'm doing because I know other things print, and people love this printer. But it's cheap. It was cheap enough for printers that I want to say it was like $250 maybe, which isn't cheap, but it's not as cheap as like you're gonna just spend all your time on it, hopefully. But it is cheap enough that like you can just kind of set it up and hopefully it works. What team am I with? I am with the EKS team, or the Kubernetes team at Amazon. So we build EKS in the cloud, but we also build EKS Anywhere, which is what this runs, and all sorts of different Kubernetes things. Glue sticks. I saw that one. I saw that as a suggestion, and I need to try it. Other prints are working, but hairspray. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, because I just need something sticky. So here's the LED light panel. This is a 3232 matrix from Adafruit. This is an M4 matrix portal, which was hot glued here, and is no longer hot glued here, but also this ribbon cable came unplugged. I thought it broke at first, and I'm thankful that I'm looking at it now and it did not break. But I gotta get it plugged back in. There we go. And then we'll have to hot glue that back down there so it's not moving around. Oh, another screw broke here. That one broke too. Shoot, and that one broke inside. Dang it. I gotta get that out. Aquanet is like the best hairspray for it? Okay, I'm gonna go buy some Aquanet. I don't have a Google out here to add it to my shopping list. I need to do that. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Because yeah, I've been having nothing but problems. I spent this weekend, I actually bought a leveler, a self-leveling probe for the board, so it would self-level. Because I thought it was just a leveling problem. But yeah, how did it break? Hey, what's up, Steve? It was shipped. I brought it to KubeCon in Detroit. I flew there with it, and so I checked it, but I flew there with the box, and then I had to leave early, and when I left, I told my coworker ship it to me. I wanted him to ship it. I wanted to see if it would survive being shipped. It did not survive being shipped, because I was curious for next year as I go more places. Do I have to fly with it and check it, or can I ship it places? And the answer is flying is safer. But I think I figured out how to ship with it, or how to ship it somewhere more easily so that other people could also use it. And yeah, so I need to have foam inside of the case itself, which will allow me to ship it, I believe. Okay, got the screw out. Thankfully that, even though it broke, it was easy enough to pull out. So yeah, this is another piece that has standoffs. Oh man, what are you doing? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? We go inside. Oh, the washers fell. I had like these washers at the very bottom here, just to give it a little bit of a standoff. There you go. Where are you? There you go. This metal here that I used for the light panel used to be the CD-ROM holder inside the Mac. It was the CD-ROM was in the middle. I was like, hey, you know what? This kind of is a perfect size to be able to hold a light panel, and that's what we did. So we cut it. I need to finish editing that video. I have a whole build video of me building it with all the different parts and things that I modified and changed, and I have all the footage, and I just need to put it together and post it. So spend some time to learn it and apply it to your schools. I'm very glad that I built this. It was a fun thing to accomplish. I basically do not recommend anyone spend this amount of time on a cluster like this unless you're using it for promotional purposes like I am, because I travel with it, I show it off different places, and it is literally meant, it was meant as a marketing vehicle to allow us to market EKS Anywhere, which is why it is quite expensive and quite flashy. But I don't recommend people do it otherwise, because like I'm doing right now, it's kind of a pain if you have to fix it too, because it's all custom, and now I have to just figure out like what broke, how does it go back together. Oh, and then I forgot to put washers on that side. Okay, let's see here. It's funny too, because I was live streaming when I was building this last year, but I didn't have very many followers, and no one really, like, people would join and then just immediately leave. They're like, what is this nerd doing? And it was fun, but I'm glad that people are actually asking questions, because that's more fun. If I can get these washers lined up properly. Come on. There we go. Nope. Oh, gosh. All out again. I don't think I have a standoff short enough. And if I remember correctly, the way this panel slides in, there's these like hooks down at the bottom. Those hooks didn't align with the top brackets, and so I needed it just a little bit offset so that it would line up with those slots better. But I could be completely wrong, and I may not even need these washers, and who knows? Maybe that's a better option. Man, I am still cold in here. Is my door open? Oh, it is. I have a heater on, but can you see the fireplace? Oh, it's over there. I have a fireplace there trying to heat me up, but my garage door was open and letting all the heat out. What material uses around the heat of the computer? I'm not sure I understand the question. Come on. Yes. Pick it up. I got a taco. I could go for some tacos. Steve, you still live in Southern California, right? What's your favorite taco place? 3D printed parts made. Oh, the structure in here. I have the blue material is what I printed. This is just PLA. There's no heat on this. It holds a switch. A network switch, which doesn't get hot at all, so I didn't need any special material for that. About the only thing that I 3D printed that does get hot is I 3D printed a power case, which is probably inside my house. The case for the power supplies themselves, and the power supplies do heat up. They generate quite a bit of heat. But I have a bunch of vents in it around where the vents of the power supply were to try and prevent it from overheating. Okay, well, I don't think I have any more metal screws. So even though both of these plastic screws came off when I shipped it, we're going to go with plastic screws again. Is that the yeah? That's a Street Fighter cabinet. It used to be at work. I used to bring it to basically every job that I had. I had it. Man, I've had it for a lot of jobs. A friend in high school had Street Fighter, long time ago, back in the 90s, and he joined the Air Force and could not take it with him, so he gave it to me. And at the time, it didn't work. The monitor didn't work. I didn't have keys for it. All sorts of stuff. So I got it fixed. I took it to a repair place, and they replaced the monitor, rekeyed the locks for me, and then ever since then, I had been bringing it to offices where I worked. And so it was at APU while I was there, in 2 different office locations. I brought it to Disney Animation when I was there. And Disney Animation was fun because they actually had Fix-It Felix Jr. cabinets from Wreck-It Ralph that they had custom made. They were promotional cabinets that they made, and so they had some of those in the building, and I just rolled up and I brought Street Fighter. It didn't go, they wouldn't let me put it next to those, but I put it down where the tech people worked. Don't do that. What? Okay. This leg is bent. There we go. Cup holder that worked in your car. Yeah. Cars are really hot. And 3D printed material, like at least PLA, is not the strongest stuff. But actually, that is. I mean, inside this case, the computers, they do get warm, but there's so much airflow around them that the CPUs get warm, but the case itself doesn't get all that hot. Man, I don't know how this is really bent. ABS or resin? Well, don't do ABS. Do PLA. But do not. I had a resin printer while I was at Disney. There was just one literally like just sitting in an empty cubicle, and I just moved it and I put it at my desk. It was a Form 1 Labs resin printer. It was one of their first models, so it's kind of old. I did not enjoy printing with resin. You could get much finer details on things, but the prints weren't stronger, and I thought they would be. It was much quieter, which was nice to print, but it was such a pain because you had to have all the resin itself, which I know is mostly in like capsules now, but you still had to like soak or wash the prints afterwards. The PLA, once it's off, you just break off the little pieces and you're good. Like you could sand it, you could do things to it, but it was so much easier and needed less space to have a PLA printer. I've had a few. At Disney, we had MakerBot replicators. We had 2 of those. I had a Form 1 Labs printer. Those were the first ones that I printed a lot of stuff on. I had a printer bot, I think is what it was called. It was just a metal one. It was like super cheap at the time. And now I have a Ender Pro. Why don't you line up? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to loosen everything. I think I tightened it too much. Does it shift now? I might have to just drill this a little bigger. Because it's likely that when I first drilled the hole, I didn't have it tightened down, and it's off. There you go. That's better. I had the old MakerBots, the CNC cupcake. I thought was the coolest because it was all wood and everything. I recently was just browsing old videos on YouTube that I had, and I had a video of one from CES 2011. I went to CES, and that's when they had one there, and I was printing off something for. I wrote for a website called How To Geek, and I was having them print me a cookie cutter, How To Geek cookie cutter, and it was so slow and so loud, and it did not look good as a print, but it was amazing that it worked. And so I had that video, and it was private for whatever reason. I don't remember why, so I made it public again on YouTube. I was like, oh, this is fun to relive. 12 or 11 years later, how far 3D printing has come. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this very well. There we go. Now I need to. These are basically all broken. All of these pieces here came off. I need to tighten the back screws too. Okay, so I have 2 standoffs broke here and 1 here. Wow, that got really bent. Oh man, that is really bent. I'm gonna just take that out. This bracket right here is not supposed to be over by like a millimeter there. If I take this, I think I have to take the whole thing out. That sucks. The way this goes together, the switch sits on this internal mount that I made. The old Apple desktop had the whole middle was a heatsink. It was fanless. There was no fans in it, and they just put one big heatsink in the middle. All the air came up from the middle, and there was a vent on the top, and it just came out the top passively. But that heatsink held these sides apart. These are the locks that actually hold the whole case inside of the cube. And so when I took out that metal heatsink, I don't have it anymore, but I just printed this little piece here. But these sides... Oh wait. No, that's right. Does this come out? The screw's off. I think. Does it just come out? I don't remember. Shoot. It'd be great if these sides just came off, because then that would help me fix the... Yes! Okay. So this is just one of the brackets. I have these standoffs on one side. They're fine, but the other side completely broke. And then this is part of the handle. So why aren't you coming off? Because you got bent so bad, I bet. Yeah, there we go. All right, and this side, look at that. That's not supposed to be that way. Cool. But now we can fix it. I would say stronger and better, but I'm just going to fix it the way it was. and not ship it like I did. Alright, I gotta straighten that out. Let's see. I wonder if metal screws... I bet metal screws would work a lot better. pretty much all of those screws broke. All of the pieces there. And that's not really strong at all now that I'm playing with it. It's a pretty flimsy piece of metal. Alright. I also labeled these so I would remember what side went on which side, but I labeled them both with B. The heck was I thinking? What kind of label is that? Back? Does that go? But that would be upside down. I'll be right back. I need another drink. I'll be back. Alright, sorry about that. Okay. Fix this now. Is this the right size? See, this is really short. The short standoff, and the short standoff has to face the LED panel. I remember that was a problem because I had no space. Okay. LED panel's there, so that would fix that way. These, I need short. NAU. What's NAU? This is not going as planned. Let's see, there we go. Okay. Alright, now let's see if this actually lines up at all. So I may be way off because I have not actually test fit this. Oh. Well, those are off. These need to go up here. Should have checked that first. Final Storm? Yuri 5000? People have great usernames. Like, I always thought that, like, usernames were dead because all the good ones were taken. It's just not true. There's still a lot of good usernames out there. Will this fit? It looks pretty close. Looks close enough. Will this fit? Oh, how did that run? What? Gotta figure out how these wires went in here. There's a lot of them. I think I could take out some of these Ethernet wires. Power. Is this broken? No, that was good. Oh, that's wrong. Yep. Again, these need to move up. I vaguely remember now when I originally built the brackets, I assembled the entire thing and I had to move them all down because the top area up here where the handle goes in had a big like crossbar that I was hitting, and you couldn't I didn't notice until I put everything back together and then put the case inside, and I was like, oh, it won't lock. It was too tall to lock, so I literally had to take the entire thing apart, move the holes down so that the computer sat lower in the case. And then try it again. That was a pain. Wait. I'm repeating the same mistake again. Those don't need to move up. The bottom ones need to move down, don't they? I'm literally telling you this as a cautionary tale. We're doing the exact same thing again. Will that fit down there? No. Is that... I can't block this. This is the walk. So it has to go down here. Where's the screw down here? Oh, I drilled the wrong holes. That's what I did. Shoot. I gotta drill new holes in the plexiglass. Okay. Nope. I kept... Oh, there's a screw stuck in there. Shoot. Yeah, that's... Oh. That's broken. The B was for bottom, not back. That's what it was for. So that, because I kept putting these in upside down. That's why. Okay. Now I remember. Okay, so if that mounts there... Man, that is a tight fit. Did I seriously mount it that low? It was like sitting on the fan. It is. Okay, I'm going to put another hole there. Alright, I move these down. See, I drilled the wrong holes in the plexiglass. Okay. Those are all in the right spots. Oh, that hole is off. I didn't even drill them like the same height. That's the problem. Now I have the option of re-drill the hole in the metal, because the plexiglass plates are the same. I'll have to look. I gotta find the easiest option here. Plates are the same, but the metal, the brackets here are different. I did not do them directly across from each other. One's a little lower than the other. Okay, but this computer goes on this side. And put these back in to make sure I don't slide. What's that? And I got this heater on behind me on high, and it's barely keeping me warm. I feel the warm air coming off, but it's not very hot. Okay. So, this, what are you? What are you? You plug into the USB on this. Okay. Your power. Oh my gosh, that is such a tight fit. How did this ever fit in here? Oh, come on. Will you work? Yes. Okay. Nope, that fell out. Alright, so if that is mounted there. Ooh, that makes it harder to see when those aren't clear anymore. I need to drill holes. Wow, I need a light. I have a flashlight. Hold on. Whew. There were two things I bought because of TikTok. One was this flashlight, because it's crazy bright when you turn it on turbo mode or whatever it is. The other was a present that was garbage. Stop it. Okay. Take that off. Let's drill it out. Do I need to take off the computers? Probably not. What size is this? 8th? Bigger than 8th. That's about right. Yeah. Okay. As long as we don't break this. We're gonna go slow. we go. One hole drilled, and one more. Yes, this is my cube box. I'm glad you've heard of it. Or seen it. Fixing it. The plexiglass brackets broke when I had it shipped to me back from a conference. And I had to get new plexiglass cut. But there wasn't really like an instruction manual when I made it. So I gotta improvise on parts. This looks pretty close. I hope that's right. Is this even thick enough? Oh yeah, okay. Stopping you. From here? Yeah, what? Oh. Something blocking my drawer. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, come on. Oh man, are you serious? He's not lining up. Oh. Go. Dang it. Okay. I remembered these posts move quite a bit. I must have pushed them in too far when I marked it. Oh. So this needs to go that way. Where's my Sharpie? Take out a chunk of that. And this needs to go the opposite direction. But that's getting super close to the edge. I'm not going to have a whole lot of space. Okay. Oh, Don't unscrew that. Yeah, this I can't move the bottom here. These are too close to the bracket, and these don't really have any wiggle room, so I just got to drill out the plexiglass some more. Not doing anything. I got it a little bit. Best way to do this. Wait, am I going the right direction? No. And you go up this way. That would suck. Make that hole. I don't want to make it bigger. I just might make it a little bit that way. And this hole needs to come down this way a little bit. Terrifying to do it right next to the port. Alright, let's test it again. Let's get closer. And line up with there. Hey, what's up? Oh, they left on YouTube. Someone joined for a minute. Alright. That one lines up now. But this is still pretty far off. I loosen them all. Might get a little closer. But yeah, no, I need to... This needs to move over quite a bit still. I can see about half the screw hole through here. But I need to move it up. This one lines up though. What time is it? Almost 11:30. Are you running EKS or vanilla? I'm running EKS Anywhere, which is the team I work with. So it runs EKS Anywhere on bare metal, which is our distribution of EKS. Can it run vanilla Kubernetes? Sure. It can run whatever I want. It doesn't even need to run Kubernetes. It can run just straight Ubuntu or whatever if I wanted it to. But it runs EKS Anywhere because it's used as a tool to show off how that works, because EKS Anywhere builds on a bunch of other projects. Provisions with Tinkerbell, which is a bare metal provisioning platform. It runs Cluster API, which is a Kubernetes cluster manager, sort of. Oh, I'm gonna need a washer, aren't I? Do I have my washers? Where are my washers? There we go. This hole's getting too big for the screw head to fit through because I need to keep moving it. Oh, I broke the LED. Dang it! I felt that snap. Alright, well I know I need to solder the other one anyway. I did it. I made it much larger. Let's see. When you're removing material, always go slow. Oh, that's going to be close. I don't know if it's going to fit, but it's going to be close. See. Come on. Nope. Nope. Not quite yet. Okay, it's far enough to the edge. Now I need it to go a little bit more this way. And then we will have it. This is a very large screw hole now. But it should still work. I really do need to figure out how I'm going to start shipping this if I want to, so that it's safer. Because I don't want to do this again. Okay. Alright, I need it to come down. That's probably fine. Mr. Haas, I'd be curious to know, are you running vanilla Kubernetes somewhere? Like, that's not a home lab? It's like my first Kubernetes cluster at work was vanilla Kubernetes. But that also was before distros really existed. What? What? Oh, you can't be off now. There you go. Alright, success. Got it. These boards are now mounted. I'll probably have to take them off at least once between now and some point. But there we go. They're mounted. That is a tight fit. I don't know if I have all the cables run that I need to. I probably need to shift them around at some point. But that's a good spot to stop, because I think I need to buy more standoffs before I can mount the other side. 1, 2, and 8. And I don't think I have 8 of any particular size. So, yeah. Not really. I'm sorry. OpenShift, yeah. EKS Anywhere, I know we've had a lot of interest there, and we have the new region over. AWS has a new region over in Saudi, so. But yeah, OpenShift is on-prem is in general a big thing over there, which is I was actually there with EKS Anywhere with this box for GitX. I was in Dubai, close to the area, and was running EKS Anywhere on this hardware while I was there. So I think I had the first EKS Anywhere cluster in the region, which was fun. So yeah, but I definitely had a lot of questions about it while I was there. So I know the people need stuff, specific things over there. So thanks everyone for joining. I'll be fixing this week, so I'm sure I'll be back. So tune in. Bye.